time to heal and feel, be real. You just gotta take your time, unwind and chill. Cause now it's time to love yourself. Build emotional and mental health. Cause Black woman, it's time to heal and feel, be real.
Hey y'all, we are back with another episode of Black Woman Healing Podcast. And as usual, I'm going to kick us off with a this or that. This or that is something I've been in conversation with my clients about, and it's around journaling. So when it comes to journaling, do you like for it to be a free write or do you like when it's prompted? Danica, what you got? What you thinking?
I like the free write. Just because the prompts sometimes they hit, but sometimes I'm more of a journal when I'm going through something or when I really want to just let it out. And so I really don't need the prompt. So yeah, it's a free write for me. What about
Yeah.
what about you, Myra?
I think it depends on the mood. If I'm having a day, I don't want no prompt to help me out on nothing. But if it's like a random moment where I feel called to write, but I want to get creative, I use my prompts to get a little bit more creative. So it just depends on the day, but I'm more of a free writing type of person. Rita, what about you?
So I love journaling in the morning, and I call it my Dear God letter. So I am telling him all about what happened yesterday that I do not want to think about anymore. I'm not talking about tomorrow because I can't do anything there. So now we're just talking about being present and what I'd like to see happen today and what I'd like to hear from him. So it's really a conversation between the two of us in the morning. Yeah.
Yes, I love that. And so y'all know I have my feelings about Ayana Von Zant, but my clients love her and I've fallen into love her myself. And so I'm recommending her book, One Day My Soul Opened Up, 40-day devotional. You write in the morning and at night, and it is truly transformational. All my clients know that's what we're doing 2025 together. So I suggest y'all to check it out. I won't continue on too much. We'll link it in our description, but I'm going to hand it over to Danica to introduce our guest today.
Yes. So today we have Rita Ricks. Her wisdom, wit, energy, and encouragement are the catalyst to inspire her listeners to renew the person within. She is devoted to empowering women to claim their best self, break free from societal myths around aging and doubt, and celebrate their unique gifts with purpose, clarity, and joy at every stage of life. She is a spiritual coach, business coach, inspirational speaker, workshop facilitator, award-winning entrepreneur, and the author of two books, Permission Granted, a Journal of Spiritual Epiphanies, and hashtag Just for Today, that offers specific actions designed to strengthen and elevate daily living. This Asian disruptor invites women to step into their power, silence the doubt, and shine unapologetically from the inside out. This is an amazing bio. I felt good reading it. So thank you so much, Rita, for being here. Um, so before we jump in, can you tell us how is a spiritual coach different from other coaches?
Well, I think spirituality, I believe that spirituality is all about your mind, your body, and your spirit. And so that's what I'm focusing on. That's why I talk about living from the inside out. And there are a variety of coaches because I have a business coach, and I have a spiritual coach, but I also have a fitness coach. So coaching is anybody who is really working with you to attain the goals that you want to attain. But again, for me, spiritual coaching is always, always, always three pillars. And this is what every client and everybody I know I tell to. You want to journal first. You want to read something positive like what Iyanla has, because I read that probably 20 years ago. I
Mhm.
remember it. It was wonderful then. I know it's wonderful now. And I also have hashtag just for today, which is, a book that just has one item that you can do for today, one task that you can do. But then the most important piece, and I know we're going to talk about this as we move in, that the third piece to that three pillars is being silent. And I believe that is For me, as a spiritual coach, it is not an option not to be silent,
Mm,
because I have a lot of people who will tell me, well, I pray, and I'm saying to them, well, but do you listen?
mm,
How do you tell God? How do you tell God what you want when He already knows the plans He has for you? So you tell Him what you want, but then you have to listen to hear what what His opinion is, if you will. And that comes in the listening. And let me say too, it's not like the James Earl Jones voice that just comes in and booms the answers to you. But literally, I had been saying for a while that I needed another person on my staff, and I knew exactly what I needed. And today, and I said I wanted it for the end of the year, and I'm not heard anything. I'm not heard anything. And then today, I happened to look at Facebook, and exactly what I needed was the first post. So He hears me. I just need to be patient until He responds.
mm.
Mhm. That's it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So you mentioned this like turning point in your life was the listen in silence. How do you feel like this reshaped your understanding of purpose and spirituality? And can you even share a specific moment where you had like a breakthrough?
So this whole thing with the Yanwa began some years ago, because I remember a girlfriend and I went up to her space in Maryland. I'm in Virginia. We went up to her space in Maryland. And I remember and when she came in, I was just enamored. I didn't hear anything she was saying. I was just enamored. And at one point she said, we're going to be silent for a while. And I remember sitting there, and within 2 minutes, I was like, what are we doing? Why are we doing? What does this mean? What am I supposed to be doing? Fast forward, I was fortunate to be in a program entitled RUA, which is breath. And it was created for spiritual directors. But I was at a space in my life where I didn't know where else to go. And so I went to this spiritual retreat center where they had the program. So for 2 years, I worked with them. We met every month. We spent the weekend there, one night a month, and we were required in those 2 years to be silent for 24 hours. So
Mm.
I did three my first year, and I did three my second year. And and you don't talk. I mean, there are people around, but you wear a tag just like this with silence on it. So if somebody sees you, they keep walking. You eat in a separate place from everybody else. You are silent. You're not there to read, you're there to listen. And this place has so many places that you can, beautiful gardens. It's just a beautiful space. And I started after about number 2 or 3 to bring in a flip chart, because there was so much, guys, that was coming at me that I had to write it down. It just was, so it was like this was cleansing me. I was purging. And so it was at the last one, when it was my sixth, that I realized, because I went in saying, I'm a life coach. I came out saying, I'm a spiritual coach. I am so connected to my spirit. And that's where we're supposed to be. In order for me to get rid of the, not react to the chaos and just respond to what I'm hearing, I got to live from the inside out. And I will tell you too, in my reading, I cannot tell you who wrote it. I'm so sorry, but there was a book one day that I saw, and I liked the title, and I pulled it out because, like I said, I wasn't supposed to be reading. The only thing that I remember from that particular book, it said, worry is a form of atheism.
Mm.
That's what I said. That's what I said. Oh my God. I'm sitting up here learning about God, and there's atheism involved. I let go of the worry. So I've not had a day of worry since. And that was probably 2009.
Wow.
Wow. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that.
Yeah.
I have a friend who went on a silent retreat. She went for like 7 days.
Mhm.
And she always talks about how when she came out, she was like, I had to break up with my boyfriend because we were not in alignment. And I would have never known that had I not sat there and really take that time. And she was like, I feel like I actually found myself by
Mhm.
doing that. And so every time I hear about like these silent retreats, I'm always like,
Amazing. It's amazing.
I need
We're
to
gonna
go, but
do
I'm
one.
scared.
We're gonna do one January 4th at that same at Richmond Hill. Um,
Wow.
and we're just and it's amazing how many people are afraid. Women are afraid. Well, what we got? We're gonna be not talking. Well, yes, because you're
Hmm.
there to listen. So you don't
Yes.
go in saying, I can't talk for 4 hours. You go in there saying, I am free to listen for 4 hours.
Mm.
And I have women who say, well, I'm single. I'm home by myself all the time. Yeah, but you're washing dishes, you're changing the bed, you probably got the TV on. Look, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like if God has given us 24 hours, 7 days a week, we can't give him
Mm.
30 minutes in the morning,
Mm.
to journal, to read something positive, and then to be silent for 20 minutes. It's part of who we are. Yeah.
Yes.
This is very because I what like what you're talking about, Rita, right now, it literally made me anxious to not talk. But it's not even the talking part for me, it's more so of the like I was like, can I laugh? I like to laugh.
Sure.
Okay,
Sure. Sure. And you're writing in your journal.
okay,
You're not just stiff sitting in one place. You can walk around. You
okay.
can go from here to there. It's just that you're not trying to form words and respond to people. Somebody
Yes.
comes past and you say hello. No, it's just you. And after an hour or so, you start to settle down. And again, the space is so wonderful. It just allows you to relax and to
Mm, yeah.
stop thinking about out there. It brings you in here, and it allows you to be more present. So the more you do it, the more present you are, and the more you're hearing him all during the day. I remember, so I was in this class, and the second year we were doing some peer coaching, and the woman asked me a question, and I started answering her, and I was like, boy, that was a good answer. And that's when I realized that God is often speaking through me to my clients, which is another reason I say spiritual as opposed to life.
Mm,
Mm.
Spiritual
Wow.
to me, again, is mind, body, spirit. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you
Mhm.
for sharing that. I'm
Absolutely.
curious, what advice would you give to those who feel they may be too old to start living their best life or even pursuing a new path?
I was like, what is too old? I What is too old? That is exactly why I'm on this podcast, because I am 77 now
Wow.
and looking forward to 78. And how much living is still out here? I've lost good friends. I have
Mm.
lost good friends, and God has kept me here, for a reason. And so, how dare I think I am too old to not do something? So, I love being with young people, and I love learning. I've always loved learning. I was a teacher. I have always loved learning. And so, with all the new that's out here, even with technology, there would have been a time when I would have freaked out and sent y'all a note saying, I can't do this. I don't do it. But it's like, there's always another answer. And when she said Zoom, I'm like, great, that works. I'm loving Chat GPT,
Oh, me
loving
too.
it, loving it.
Yes.
And it's just, it saves time. So people who tell me, well, no, that's plagiarism. That's not what I'm doing. So I love the energy around new ideas. And like anything, this was a professor when I was working on my graduate degree years ago who said, like anything, he said, you listen and you decide what works for you and you keep it. And that doesn't work for you, get rid of it. He said, you're supposed to do that in church. You're supposed to do that anywhere. You listen and you take in what's going to grow you, and what isn't, you let it go. So yeah, I don't want anybody to feel they're too old, you know. I really don't. But you got to exercise. You have to exercise, you got to eat right. I gave up meat, I don't know, 25 years ago, maybe.
mm,
But I am a pescatarian, you
Okay.
know. Um, and I love veggies. I love vegetables and fruits and salmon. I could do it 24/7, really, because I'm not the greatest cook, whatever.
Yeah,
But
no.
it's just about feeling good. And I just believe I ask God all the time to allow others to see him in me. And so I really think, and that's how I feel. I feel his presence, and I feel he has me here for a reason. And I feel that particularly Black women, when we're in alignment, because you use that word, when we're in alignment, we can handle anything. When we're out of alignment, we're trying to do it ourselves, and we can't do it all ourselves. So that whole thing about, oh, I don't need anybody. Sure, we do. We absolutely need people. We just have to be discerning about who we allow into our lives. And everybody's in our life for a reason and a season. So when it's time to let them go, it's time to let them go. We spend too much time holding on to them or apologizing. And in my bio, I said, we have to live unapologetically. It's time to move on. It's time to move on. Otherwise, we stay stuck. And who wants that?
Look, and thinking of if stuck being stuck or having been, what have you noticed are the biggest barriers today for Black women that are different from, let's say, 30 years ago?
Yeah. So I think so 30 years ago wouldn't necessarily be y'all, but it would be me because I was an adult 30 years ago. My point is that there were a lot of firsts. Most of us are first generation business owners in my group, and so there were a lot of firsts. I'm a baby boomer, and so we were resistant to a lot of what was going on that they said we must do. Why we got to turn the other cheek. My point is that we were really, in my opinion, an integration. Many of us were, integrating for the first time, and so there was a lot happening back then that was different from where it is now, you know. But moving forward, what I see is a huge benefit is I see so many Black women traveling,
Mm.
and I love it. I'm an Army brat, so I traveled my whole life. But to see women going out on their own and traveling and taking a friend and going to new and different places, that's how when I was younger and I was traveling, it was always wonderful to be out of the United States because we were not necessarily seen, as Black people. I'm originally from Mississippi. And so when we'd come back, we'd have to go south. And that's where I felt the prejudice. So when you go to other countries, and somebody was saying, well, they're not racist. It's not about, yeah, everybody's racist somewhere. But when you go to other countries, that's not necessarily, Black is not necessarily the first thing they see.
Mm.
Does that make sense? So I love the idea of women of traveling. I love the idea of them going back to school, but I want them to go back to school with purpose. You don't go back to school just because you don't think you don't know what you need to know. You know what you need to know. So if you're going to go back to school, you're just going to grow on that. You're not going because somebody else got their master's or what. Do you know? Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Be very careful with that. We need to trust that we know already. And I actually have a coach who said to us that she does not dispense knowledge. She dispenses wisdom. She said, because you can go on Google for knowledge, but she's the one with the wisdom. And that is exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I feel at this age. So I like being here at this age. I like being at this age.
Yes. Yeah, no, I think that even you just bringing up like 30 years ago, you all being like the first. I mean, one, thank you, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Thank you so much.
Mm.
Definitely, definitely lots of gratitude. And I know for me, when I think of my ancestors, even like thinking of you, I can feel it in my soul, just like the
Mhm.
things you all had to break through to
Mhm.
get to where we are, to get to where you are. And I'm just honored, right, to be
Mhm.
able to speak to you, to
Mhm.
be able to be here and do these things. As soon as you spoke about traveling, I'm from Kentucky. When I was growing up, my family, we didn't travel like that. Maybe down the street, Tennessee, Indiana, like around the
Mhm.
perimeters. But
Mhm.
I didn't travel. I didn't get on an airplane until I was like 20.
Mhm.
I think I was 20. I was
Okay.
which is not horrible, but
No.
it was a guy that I was dating at the time who introduced me
Mhm.
to traveling. And
Mhm.
then I've met people like Myra. She travels. She's been traveling, she's been introduced to it, but I've learned so much about myself and the world because
Yeah.
of the traveling. I think it
Yeah.
literally opens up your perspective to just different cultures, different ways of
Mhm.
living, and it forces you to learn more about yourself.
That's
That
right.
we
That's
literally
right.
you can't learn it just staying in one place. Like
That's
you
right.
can't. And so you saying that, I just was like, wow, this is so true. And
Mhm.
my parents didn't get to experience that,
Yeah.
and a lot of
Yeah.
people that I grew up with, they're still not getting to experience it.
Understood. Yeah. One of my best friends in Jackson, because we could only see her in the summer, not during the school year, but we'd go down there. And my dad loved taking pictures. So this is the truth. He would put a sheet up on the side of my granddad's house in the driveway, and people would bring chairs, and he would show pictures. He would show slides of where we'd been, since we last saw them. It mortified my brother and me. It was like, how could he do this? It was like so embarrassing. But my best friend to this day has been around she saw them. She got inspired. She said at 12 years old, she said, I'm going there and I'm going there and I'm going there. And she still does. We just were on a Mediterranean cruise back in August, the two
Wow.
of us. Yeah, yeah. And actually, I took my granddaughters for the first time. So they went to Europe. So it's so easy. It's so easy. I was thinking, I want to see the Notre Dame, and you can grab a flight, go over there for 2 days, 3 days, and come on back. You know? Yeah. Just keep your passport up to date. That's the other thing I would say. Moving forward, keep your passport up to date.
Get a passport.
Well, get a passport. That probably is a good idea first.
But yeah, no, definitely. So looking back, because I think we talked about some of the improvements, but looking back over your life,
Mhm.
what legacy or message do you hope to share slash leave with others?
I think African American women are the most amazing species on this planet. I just do. I think we are amazing in ways we don't even realize. And I also think that we are incredibly admired. And
Mm,
that's part of the problem because everybody doesn't want to give us our props. So we have to give it to ourselves. And that's why I want to talk to women and meet with women and coach women so that they can get rid of whatever barriers are stopping them. Because there are barriers. We all, particularly in my age group, but even with you guys, there's something that somebody said when you were younger it's living in your head rent free, and you don't even know what it is. And I had a spiritual coach who told me that, and it had to do with racism. It was a comment that was made, and I'd never forgotten it. And so I was trying to be small and didn't even realize it. And the sad part is I didn't learn it until I was about 60, 62. And I've just flourished since that time. So I want to work with women so we can do the deep dive into what's in here. so that you can let go of whatever hurt you have, whatever pain you have, whatever doubt you have, whatever insecurity you have, because we are the strongest, most awesome species on the planet. No doubt. No doubt. That's how I feel.
Yes.
And
Oh
my
my goodness.
legacy, and what I want to do is minister to 1 million women around the world. So I started a bunch of years ago. So I'm gonna get to 1 million by the time I'm 80, and then I'm gonna do another 1 million.
Yes.
But
Claim it. Yes.
if I can, I just want to tell you what I know for sure at 76 plus. Can I just give those to you real quickly?
Yeah, this gonna be our takeaway. Go ahead.
Okay, so the first thing is that you've got to know your purpose. You've got to know your purpose. And to say you don't know it means that you are not paying attention. Bless you, darling. It means that you aren't necessarily paying attention to the spirit. So I want to be able to help you with that. The next, my number 2 is the solution is in the silence. When you can't figure out what to do next, shut down. Shut down. Go in a closet, go somewhere and shut down. It's right there. You just have to get the other stuff out of your head. Number 3, break the curse of ordinary. Break the curse of ordinary. Get out of your own way. You can't keep doing the same thing the same way and expecting different results. Number 4, worry adds nothing to your life. It just doesn't. It just makes you old and ugly. It just does not help you, you know? Number 5, ask why rather than how. Not how am I going to get to Europe, but why do I want to go to Europe? Why do I want to go? You know? Because you could say Europe and then you'll never get any smaller and then you won't go because it's like, where am I going? But why do you want to go? I love Italy. I love Italy. So I always land there. I always land there in Rome so I can spend some time there. Okay. Number 6, this is my mantra that I wrote years ago. What you do today forms your tomorrow. What you do today forms do something today that's going to make tomorrow better. Something. Number 7, the law of attraction is alive and well. If you say you can't, you can't. If you say you can't afford it, you can't. So speak life, speak positive, speak it into the universe because the universe is going to give you back what you say. Number 8, you always have a choice. There's never a time when you don't have a choice. It may not be your favorite choice. Like, I can't leave my boyfriend. Well, yeah, you can. Well, yeah, you can. It may not be your favorite choice, but if you see that it is harming you, then with anything, you have to step away. Step away. Number 9, this comes, my pastor said this, and I sent him a text. I said, can I use this, please, all over the world? He said, opportunity stalks preparation. So if you continue to prepare, the opportunity's right there. It's coming. So don't stop what you're doing. That's your purpose, you know? Number 10. Number 10 is do not settle. Just don't settle. Just don't take it because. Just don't do it because. Do not settle. Go back to the why. Okay? Number 11, focus on the journey rather than the outcome. We spend too much time trying to get there. And we miss out on all the cool stuff. And I love that because that's something I was always outcome based, being in business. What's the outcome? But we have to enjoy the journey. That's the whole reason we're alive, right? And then finally, number 12, nourish your mind, your body, and your spirit. So those are my 12 I know for sure is for this year. We'll do another group next year.
Wow. I'm here for all of them. Like these gems, like this is going to be a huge part of the episode. I'm still I'm processing still some of them. But I'm going to go back and listen to this. So thank you so much for your wisdom and sharing it with us. Like definitely appreciate it. And yeah, we'll put all your information in the description. Everybody, please go follow Rita Ricks. And I looked on your website, so I know you have like your books and all the things. I was looking at them like, okay.
Yeah.
Um, and so
So
yeah, go
let me
ahead.
just say, Donica, that I made an offer for Small Business Saturday. It's still on my site, and I'm going to send it through January 31st. And so if anybody is interested in connecting with me, it's 30 minutes for $50, and I will talk one-on-one with them and get them started. So I would love for folks to go to the website, ritaricks.com. Yeah, go to the shop and decide that they want to talk with me because I'm available. That's what I do is talk to folks.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us
You're
for
welcome.
today of Black Women Healing Podcast.
We hope y'all enjoyed the last episode. As Rita was sharing her gems at the end, it was making me think about setting an intention. And this episode, I believe, comes out in 2025, the new year. And I want to challenge you all to, instead of thinking about a whole bunch of goals you need to accomplish, set an intention for the year. It could be something that you heard Rita share, whether it's you always have a choice and reminding yourself of that, or not settling, whatever. But I challenge y'all to set an intention for the year. Danica, you got anything? You think about your intention?
I feel like the intention is to I feel like not cloud yourself with so much information.
Yeah,
Like take one thing and try it out for a second. I feel like with social media and we have so much access to knowledge with chat
yeah,
and all the things where
yep,
it can be so easy to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try that, I'm gonna try, oh yeah, they said journaling, they said walking is good, they said this is like
yes,
just try one thing and see if you can even make that a habit or even if you like it. Because we
yeah.
all like different things. And so, I'll have clients come in and they'll be like, oh, this, they said this was good. And I'm like, I like it's like journaling. Journaling is not like the number one thing for me, but I had to learn that it wasn't by trying it. But everybody talks about journaling, but I can't be like,
You're
oh,
reading my mind. Go ahead. Go ahead,
yeah,
finish your thought, but I gotta share something exactly what you're
if
saying.
I was just taking in any information based off of cloud, based off what everyone's saying, then I'll be trying to force myself to do something that I really don't get as much benefit out of. So it's like
Hmm.
it's everywhere. Like this, especially the wellness, and maybe it's not even therapy, maybe it's just other forms of wellness. You work out, you do all this. It's just like, oh my goodness. Like, let me just
Yeah.
take a step back,
Yes.
try one thing and see if it works for me before even adding another thing. So that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking of.
And as you were sharing, it was making me think about my intention for this year was to do things that feel good, that make sense for me. And so I used to be really big on journaling. I got journals that go back from like the first grade, but I haven't felt like writing. And so what I've been doing instead is I take a picture. That's my form of journaling. And I store them because on the iPhone, you have the journaling app. I take pictures, something that really stood out for me. It could be the most random thing. And
Mm.
even when it comes to like working out, if I don't feel like going to the gym, why can't I just go outside and stretch?
Mm.
Or when it comes to like, just wellness overall, one thing I've done this year pretty consistently is I eat my lunch on the front lawn because I love being in the sun. And for me, that's a form of mindfulness, feeling the sun on me. It doesn't have to be these things that we're reading all the time because you'll get so stuck in that you feel like, oh, I'm not doing it right. Nah, nah. That's why all these different forms of journaling are coming up. Like I was at an art class and they were talking about junk journaling. And I was like, y'all are so late, but
Wait,
I'm
what's it
glad
called?
y'all are on it. Junk journaling, where it's basically like, I like stickers a lot. So it'll be like just things from throughout your week that you collected, or that it could be like a receipt from Target, and you just throw it all in your little notebook as it makes sense because it's something you want to remember. I really like stickers. So for me, I be geeking out with my little junk journal because I got all my little stickers that I didn't got, right? And so make things make sense for you. It don't have to be you sit down and you write. It doesn't have to be you go run on the treadmill. It don't be have to be a running club. Whatever makes the most sense for you. So I challenge y'all to, dive a little deeper.
Definitely. I love all those things you're saying too. And I think the things you're saying too are more suited to like everyday life. I think sometimes with it's like I gotta go to the gym, I gotta leave my own comfort in my home. It takes up more time. Like all these pieces where I could just go outside and stretch, or I could do something here where I still feel good, but I'm still getting some sort of wellness in. Like,
Exactly.
and we're right now very time heavy, time influenced because so many
Yeah.
things are constantly happening. So you're still slowing down, you're doing the things like I love those things. So
Yes, that's my intention for the year, to have more space and time to do nothing. I'm tired of being busy, y'all. The older I get, the more I'm just like, this was cute in my 20s. Like, I thrived on being busy. I thought that was so fun. Now I have the moments. I like to look forward to the busy moments. I don't like for it to just be all the time. I want to look forward to, like, on Saturday, I know I got 3 things planned. I look forward to those things. Now I got 3 things planned today and tomorrow and Saturday. That's out for me. So that's my intention for the year.
yes,
I'll keep y'all updated on how it goes.
it's the this was cute. That was cute and all. But we're
Yeah,
here. We're here. Absolutely.
exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Well, we hope that you all enjoyed this episode of Black Women Healing Podcast. Whether you take some of our intentions or add your own, do what feels good for you. In the words of Myra Hollis.